I think the core elements of waking up as as a vampire for us has been very self-explanatory, where you hide from the sun and drink blood to survive. So those two elements has been the core pillars to translate into the game, and I think hold true today.
Yeah, we just adding that we really wanted to build on the vampire traits. That's what one of the most important part of V-Rising is to make sure that once you get into the game that you are acknowledged and remembered when you play through that you are a vampire, and that you are reminded throughout the experience that once you go in the sun and start burning, you are reminded that, oh right, I cannot behave like a normal human in this world. I am a vampire. We really put a lot of emphasis on making sure that as many of these traits are prevalent in the experience as you play it. So we don't plan to stay in early access for longer than we need to, and we have high hopes to get the game out in a full version over the next year. And within this vision, we really want to nail some core elements. One thing is definitely getting the presence of Dracula himself into the game. That's one of the big things we are working on. And for controller support, we also are working on accessibility features as a whole, as we want players to be able to reach out and play the game with whatever input they may have. So there are some community-made controller inputs that you can use today on Steam, but we fully intend to develop our own version to make sure that you can play with a controller, and that in the long run will of course open up ventures for other platforms as well.
I think that building a game in the beginning for us was really important, that we were able to scale on success. And some of the benefits you get from server hosting is that if we are not able to centralize server distribution, we would have a harder time scaling on the success. So it's actually been very helpful for us to have the kind of room server solution with not only player hosted servers, but also player managed servers where there's communities to be built and fostered much longer than we could scale on looking at the game from the beginning. Of course, now that we're a success, we are very focused on delivering to our community a good and stable play environment. Even if you host it yourself, it should be strong pings. And we hope by collaborations with external partners that this will be something we strive for towards 1.0.
That's something we're always evaluating, but looking at the game from about a technical and the design perspective, the reasoning behind this big content expansion is that once we went into early access, we told the players that there will be resets of your saves and you will have to start over again. And our strategy was to make sure that we can provide a big enough content pack and value that players want to return to the game, want to play it again from the beginning. So again, this big expansion kind of strategy works for us technically, because there are things that we want to change with the game when we improve it that we cannot do unless we reset progress. For example, changing the world where players have built a lot of castles. We could not do that if we would not reset progress. So this is what we want to do, at least during the early access process, to have these bigger premium updates when we do big changes to the game. But that might be something that we will be altering once we have released the game.
With the current, to next patch, I think it's balancing out the pacing in the game, making sure that there's enough time spent in the early part of the game and seeing the journey fulfilled. I think is one of the challenges, and also balancing, as Peter is talking about, where the focuses are. Like if we put the right emphasis on the PvP community, right, we need to find ways for them to enjoy the game, as this is a big expansion and people are waiting a long time for that. At the same time with the building and the adventure, so striking that balance is the biggest challenge. We were fortunate enough to get the Tencent investment to be able to fulfill our vision of V-Rising, and having creative freedom and be able to deliver on that vision and showing up with this product has given us, of course, a lot of more creative freedom in the future as well. So the big change is amplification, I think, where we can enjoy the help from QA, localization, marketing team from Eureka, just big business practices and best execution, feedback, testing. So that's the big thing. I think we have a good pipeline for that, where we don't get overburdened by the help.
I can remember when we pitched V-Rising. It was when we pitched it for Tencent the first time. We had a prototype. We built it in 5 weeks, using a lot of the Batright assets in the Batright engine. That was like how we went from a prototype, and then we sat down, showed them their game. And I know that me and Rickard were traveling to Stockholm together, and we sat down in this tiny room with the Tencent producer and their designers, and we played it with them shouldering us, and we had this asking us questions about it. And I think that's where it really ticked, and that's where we okay, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, I think just second that, like coming into that room is like less than a studio apartment with 3 employees from Tencent, and Peter setting up the network with cables, and we brought 2 laptops and they need to be powerful. So it's like going back 10 years in time where we were like students being at Elon. Thank you for playing V-Rising and giving us a chance. I know the cultural level isn't as clear as for us in the Western market, but you accepted us and you tried our game and you're giving us great feedback. We hope to return the favor by giving you more V-Rising in the years to come.
Yeah. Thank you very much.